Continuing with dimensioning. Now the next thing to look at is how to do baseline and continue dimensioning. Now if we are dimensioning these circles, the correct way we would usually do it is to measure from a baseline. So if we get our linear dimension and just put the first dimension on, like so, that's done in the normal way. But there is a special function here. On the drop down we've got two options, to continue or baseline. Let's do baseline first, and that goes from the original baseline, and if we've just done a dimension, it knows where that dimension was coming from. If it doesn't know, we do have the option to select what our baseline is, but normally you do them one after the other. And this baseline offset is set up by our style, which we were just looking at earlier, and we'll come back to that again later. So that's baseline dimensioning, and the other one is continuation or continue dimensioning. So we'll just do one of those. So if we're coming, say, from the top here down to the center of that circle, and we place that dimension, then the other way we can dimension the next circle is click on continue, and it just carries on from the last dimension, and escape. Now the beauty of doing it that way is that it doesn't double up on these lines in between. If you put in separate dimensions, then it would draw a separate line and there would be two lines on top of each other. With the old plotters where you were using an ink pen, and you had to avoid that because it would just draw lines on top of lines and eventually go through the paper. So it was pretty important not to do it that way. This baseline spacing we'll have a look at shortly. Let's just have a quick look at that now. If we go into modify our style, there is a setting here for the lines to set the baseline, and that's set at 3.75 at present, which of course would be scaled up in our overall scale factor here for this instance. But normally if we're working at 1:1, we'd set that at 10 millimeters for our standard engineering drawings. So we'll just close that, and we'll talk about the setup of the styles in the next video.